Rink-wide Vancouver. Pre-game, post-game, every game. Presented by Bodog, the place to go to make a play on free casino games and sports odds. J-Pat and Wadden here with you, and we teased it pre-game, post-game, every game, J-Pat. Here we are with our debut of the pre-game show, Canucks and the Kraken tonight from Rogers Arena.
Yeah, lots of guys in this game tonight. They better be ready, but hey, we better be ready. I hope the city, the market is ready for a rink-wide pregame show, because here we go. As you said, pregame, postgame, every game, and there is a game at Rogers Arena tonight. The Vancouver Canucks and the Seattle Kraken as the evaluation process continues, and the Canucks look like they're going to ice a fairly veteran-laden lineup. Thatcher Demko gets the starting goal. His first look here in the preseason, slated to go 40 minutes, although Bruce Boudreau seemed to leave the door open that I guess if the situation presented itself, maybe he could go the distance. Artur Silovs looks like he's going to be the backup tonight.
Yeah, Artur Silovs looking like he's going to get the final 20 minutes. We'll see how things go, but let's start right there in goal, J-Pat. Are you surprised that Silovs getting another crack at it?
No, I mean, this is far more about Thatcher Demko, who didn't play in either of the games on Sunday and obviously is the lead dog for the Vancouver Canucks and has looked good through training camp and has been putting in the work with Ian Clark, so I'm sure he's chomping at the bit. Remember, his season last year was cut short prematurely. They had to shut him down at the end of the season, the workload, the injury. Got married in the offseason. He seems to be in a good headspace, and man, they're going to lean on him an awful lot this season. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what he can accomplish here in these 40 minutes. And then if Silovs gets a look, I think it's just, again, another nod that this organization is high on this player. But Bruce Boudreau talked about it yesterday out at UBC after practice that, you know, they don't want to hand anything to Spencer Martin. That Martin's got the contract. He's the front runner to be the backup to Thatcher Demko. But Colin Delia's here and Artur Silovs as well. The Canucks feel they're in a pretty good spot when it comes to their goaltending depth right now. So a good opportunity for Silovs if he gets 20 minutes of game action tonight. Bruce did tip his hand as well. It looks like it'll be Delia and Martin on Saturday in the rematch down in Seattle.
All right, some people wanted to see it. They get it tonight. Quinn Hughes making his debut on the right side, going to be paired up with OEL, and people were asking why it wasn't or didn't happen during the first two preseason games. We sort of broke it down in our last pod, but what are you expecting from Quinn Hughes tonight?
I expect him to be dynamic, and he'll be good. It wouldn't surprise me if he's in mid-season form already in his first preseason game.
Sure.
Interesting, though, that, it's one thing to do this in the summer skates out in Burnaby, another in the scrimmages up in Whistler, and he played in two of those scrimmages. I think to most of the eyes of the media on the Friday scrimmage, there was an adjustment that all of a sudden bodies are coming at you. You got to deal with a little bit of heat on the forecheck and those types of things that maybe you didn't feel out at 8 rinks when guys were just getting their legs back under them. Now it steps up to another level. But this is Quinn Hughes we're talking about, and he truly is one of the best in the business at the position he plays. Quick study. I think he'll be fine, but I do think it's going to be interesting to watch some of the reads defensively. And also, and Bruce Boudreau talked about this, I asked Bruce, what are you going to look for from Quinn Hughes on the right side tonight? His answer wasn't about anything in the D zone. It was about the offense. Can he move to the middle of the ice on his forehand and get a shot away? We know Quinn Hughes is a setup man, par excellence in the National Hockey League. The goal scoring total, there's room to grow there, certainly, and on the power play. But I think this is more an experiment, not so much an experiment, I suppose, but just more of an evaluation of him 5-on-5 tonight. OEL's going to be over there on the left side, so you've got a couple of veterans now, and I know it's kind of funny to call Quinn Hughes a veteran, but he is. He's been at this for a couple of seasons now, but the coach is going to be watching him in the offensive zone, so just keep an eye on what Quinn Hughes can do. If pucks come back to the point, is he going to have to take them on the back end and then transition? Because look, there are a few guys in this league that walk the blue line better than Quinn Hughes. So I think that's going to be an area that I'm going to be focusing on with Quinn Hughes is those tight spaces out near the blue line, because the guy's a wizard when he was over on the left side. Can he bring that wizardry with him over to the right?
All right, we'll also be focused on Danny DeKeyser on the left side playing with Tucker Poolman. And as I mentioned on a past podcast, it just seems like they want to try to make this work if it can. DeKeyser getting another opportunity here. See if he can seize it tonight.
Yeah, and this is a different situation for him because through camp in the first preseason game, he was paired with Tyler Myers, and now he's got, as you said, another rangy right-hander over on the other side in Tucker Poolman. And I found this interesting, too, when Bruce was asked about Quinn Hughes on the right side. He said, this isn't even so much about Quinn Hughes. This one tonight is more about Tucker Poolman and where is he and his ability to play on a nightly basis and fill a regular role on this hockey club. So keep that in mind that, there are still some questions about Tucker Pullman coming off the migraine and the head injuries from last year that shut him down midway through the season. So, yeah, I'm going to be watching DeKeyser. Again, speed of the game. I think for me, that's the thing with Danny DeKeyser. He's got the veteran savvy. He's been at this for a while, but this is a league that's getting faster on an almost nightly basis. And so can Danny DeKeyser keep up? We saw everybody that played the other night, the guys that killed penalties, they got a lot of practice there. I'm hoping there aren't as many power plays in this hockey game, although penalty kill is an area that a guy like DeKeyser, I think, could still leave his mark. So maybe he wants there to be some shorthanded opportunities for him to get out there and strut his stuff. But yeah, I mean, talk about a pairing that's going to be under the spotlight. You've got DeKeyser on a PTO. You've got Tucker Pullman trying to battle his way back, and they're paired together. And it looks like there'll be a second pairing. So I would assume that you're going to see a fair bit of them in this hockey game tonight.
All right, we found out today Linus Karlsson, don't call him Linus Karlsson, Linus Karlsson will play alongside Elias Pettersson and Kuzmenko as well, with Ilya Mikheyev out. We heard that he's going to be back skating next week. What should we expect from Linus tonight as he gets this big opportunity?
Yeah, and this is really, he's been one of the stories here, I think, right from Penticton. He was the most productive player in a Canuck uniform at the Young Stars tournament, carried that over to Whistler. He looked all right, scored a couple of goals in scrimmages there, and now getting this opportunity, and we talk about a next man up mentality. Yeah, you'd love Brock Besser to be available. Yes, you'd love Ilya Mikheyev to be available. They're not. Somebody's got to step into those roles. So here's this rookie getting a chance now. Continues to find his way at this level, and he talked this morning about how much more comfortable he is just around the players on the smaller North American ice surface as well. And let's be honest, he has looked good. So, there's still a fair distance to go here in the preseason, but the fact that they're putting him in this spot, talk about a great opportunity for a young guy to strut his stuff. He's here to generate some offense, getting a chance to play with Elias Pettersson, and as you mentioned, Kuzmenko over on that other side. So, I think when you're playing with Elias Pettersson, first and foremost, you got to find yourself into some open ice, because we know how smart Petey is with the puck. If you're open, he'll find you, and we'll see if Linus Karlsson can take advantage of the opportunity that he has. And I don't want to say he's been given. I think this is an opportunity that he has earned to have this look alongside Elias Pettersson tonight.
Yeah, opportunity in the bottom six of the forward group tonight as well. This third line of Nils Amon, flanked by Dakota Joshua and Nils Höglander. What can we expect from that line tonight? A little bit of offense perhaps, but almost looks like a bit of a shutdown line as well.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, do we not have to make Dakota Joshua an honorary Nils for the night?
Could be his middle name. Could be his middle name.
Run out 3 Nils? I don't think that's ever happened in NHL history, even in the preseason. So just for this night, I think we should call him Nils Joshua. Yeah, there's a little bit of everything there. We know that Höglander's in a battle here to earn a roster spot and maybe even a spot in the lineup, and he's had a strong start to this point. This is, if he's going to make this team under Bruce Boudreau, he's probably not a top 6 guy. So this might kind of be his lot in life. And so you want to see the hustle. You want to see the determination, get in on the forecheck. Of course, 2 coaches now, Travis Green and Bruce Boudreau, have both sort of poked some holes in old Hoagie's defensive game. So, don't worry about him when he's got the puck so much. You know that the skill is there. I think from an evaluation point, you got to be keeping an eye on Nils Höglander without the puck in the defensive zone. He's got a young center in Nils Amon, who, again, like Linus Karlsson, has looked pretty good through Young Stars and didn't notice him as much in Whistler at training camp. But if people are going to go to the game and see him for the first time, or they're watching on television, he's got the size. The size is undeniable. In fact, I think he's bigger than I thought he was. I think he maybe listed at 6'2". To me, the naked eye, looks like he's closer to 6'3", 6'4". So he's got pro size. There's no doubt there. Seems to get around the ice. I'm still not sure where his skill set is. I don't think he's ready for the National Hockey League just yet. And so to have those 2 Swedes paired with Joshua, his game's straight lines, be physical. I want to see that from him. There's a curiosity factor with that line. But, that's what preseason is for. It's for a little bit of experimentation, but also, for a guy like Höglander, again, if he's going to work his way back to the NHL on a full-time basis, so it's not that he was sent to the minors, but we know that he had surgery and kind of fell out of favor with the coach last year. This might be the kind of role for him. So I want to see Energizer Bunny buzzing from Nils Höglander tonight.
There you go. That fourth line too, though, this is going to be a big opportunity for them. Sheldon Dries flanked by PDG and Will Lockwood. And I'm really sort of looking in more at Lockwood on this one. the Canucks got to see what they have in this player. And again, the fans, they want to make it happen. We just haven't seen enough from Will Lockwood, have we, J-Pat, to really coin him a Canuck just yet?
No, and way too quiet the other night in the preseason opener. This kind of feels like if he wants to stick around and advance in this camp, that tonight has to be a night where we're talking about Will Lockwood for the right reasons. I would assume, just based on who they've got in their lineup, that he's going to get a look on the penalty kill. He took part in penalty killing practice out at UBC on Wednesday, and PDG's had a strong camp, and that is an area that he has talked about, the coach has talked about. I thought it was interesting yesterday. Bruce Boudreau mentioned Phil Giuseppe and said, at some point last year, I wanted him to bring him up from Abbotsford, but he was injured. There was COVID issues as well. He did get called up at one point, but was right into COVID protocol and never played for the Vancouver Canucks, but had that strong training camp. So, keep an eye on him. 34 out there. He's big, robust, rugged. He's got to play that game, and I do think one of the areas he can bring some value is on the penalty kill, so I'll be watching that. But, to me, Will Lockwood has to make some noise in this hockey game. Otherwise, I don't know when the next round of cuts are coming, if they're coming tomorrow, or maybe they'll stick it out with this group through the weekend due to some of the injuries. Maybe you have to see how many healthy bodies come out of a game like tonight. Whatever the case, if Will Lockwood wants to stick around and play more preseason games, I would think that he has to have some sort of statement game tonight.
All right, special teams. Kuzmenko replacing Besser as the net front on PP1. Seems to be the right fit there. I think he's got the playmaking abilities to be in that position.
Yeah, and the Canucks feel that, having watched tape on Kuzmenko over in the KHL, that this was an area that he had some success. So we'll see if he can translate that from the Russian league. This is not the NHL because it's preseason and it's a mix of players. But when you're out there on the power play, especially PP1, and JT Miller is going to make his preseason debut, Pettersson's in the lineup, Quinn Hughes is playing, this is pretty close to the best that the Canucks can run out there as a power play. Bo Horvat is not playing, and of course Brock Besser injured. So great opportunity for Kuzmenko. We saw some of the skill on the shot the other night. Again, shift length will be something that I think everybody keeps in an eye on when it comes to Andrei Kuzmenko. But a lot of times I think people think net front, you're looking for Todd Bertuzzi reincarnated, right? This big body that's just going to wreak havoc in front of the net, screens and jam at rebounds. But as we've seen, and the league has gone to more finesse, and this is why a guy like Brock Besser's had some success as a net front. And when they brought Tyler Toffoli in after the trade from Los Angeles, that was his role on this power play as well. I think it's quick hands. I think it's some puck retrieval. And ultimately, it's a right shot. So when the Canucks do run their full set, and again, they don't have Horvat in the bumper. I think Tanner Pearson was the guy that was taking the bumper spot in drills this morning. You want the right shot so that JT Miller has options. He can go back to Hughes. He can try to get directly to the inside and a pass to Bo Horvat, or you can take the indirect route to Horvat, and that is down low and a right shot guy who's sort of fading away from the side of the net and gets that pass into the soft area for Horvat to pull the trigger. Or tonight, it'll be Pearson. So, absolutely something to watch. When it comes to the Canucks power plays, first of all, they got to draw some penalties. Again, we saw a lot of them the other night, so I would expect that you will see some calls in this hockey game. And once they go to work, keep an eye on number 96 there at the front of the net.
And on power play 2, we see Jack Rathbone and OEL both on that unit. Rathbone will be on the right flank with OEL at the top. We've seen this before from the Canucks. They used it last year with Brad Hunt. Maybe just some more experimentation there for the Canucks, and also maybe a more of a chance for Rathbone to get that PP work in.
Yeah, and Jack Rathbone had a strong night in the preseason opener here at home the other night. Logged 26 minutes, had the 9 shot attempts, 3 on goal. It'll be a different role for him. He's paired with Kyle Burrows at 5-on-5, but hey, this is another nod to this guy that they're running him out there on the power play. He ran power play 1 the other night, and they got a good look at him with all the power play time. Here it's a different animal, as you said. He's paired with OEL. It's a 2-defenseman set, but still for Rathbone, it's an opportunity that they want to see. They wanted to see him be the quarterback of the power play the other night. Here, it's a tandem role, but this is a great chance to be put in a position to generate some offense. That's what he does. He thinks the game that way. And I think for OEL, his first preseason game, you don't want to take him entirely off the power play. Not sure ultimately where he will slot in once the season begins when it comes to special teams, but you don't want him to go the first week of the preseason without any reps there. So I'm not surprised that they're trotting out a 2-defenseman set when it comes to the power play, but I am glad that Rathbone is still getting these opportunities. To me, that tells you that Jack Rathbone is on the cusp of making this hockey club if he holds up his end of the bargain.
All right, let's get to the Bodog lines for tonight. The Canucks, the favorite at minus 235. The Kraken at plus 195, J-Pat. However, the Kraken haven't allowed a goal yet in 2 preseason games, 2-0 now as they swept through the Alberta teams. Who do you like tonight? Canucks 0-2 on the preseason, but we know it is preseason hockey. Do you like the plus 195 with the Kraken, or are you going to play it safe and go with the home side?
Dare I say this is a must-win? No, I'm not going down that road. But let's be honest, the Canucks lost in overtime at home. They got skunked in Calgary. At some point, you do want to have these guys feel some success. So you don't want to go through the first week without a victory at some point. So I'm not suggesting there's pressure on the Vancouver Canucks, but based on their lineup, the fact that Miller is out there with Garland and Pearson, that's your top line, that Pettersson is playing, that Quinn Hughes is in action, and Thatcher Demko in goal. I didn't like the fact that the group that skated here against Calgary on Sunday got outshot 45-28. That was more of my concern than ultimately dropping a game in overtime. So I want to see the Canucks control the play in this hockey game. I want to see their best players do their thing. I want to see Thatcher Demko look like he's in midseason form, even if it's his preseason debut. And I just think based on the lineup that the Canucks are running out, that they should win this hockey game. So yeah, I would throw my money. If I was on a preseason game, I'd throw my money on the Canucks.
All right, J-Pat, this is everybody's favorite part of our pre-games. We've been doing this for years, back to the 1040 days. Time for you to tell us who has got to do something tonight.
Right, and before I do, let me just say, if people are new to Rink Wide and they're just checking out YouTube for the first time here, well, not checking out YouTube, but checking us out on YouTube, Do Something, the genesis of Do Something came from the preseason many years ago, and it was me getting frustrated coming to the rink and thinking in my mind, all right, who do I want to see step up tonight? Who do I think has to make a statement? We talked a little bit about Will Lockwood. I'm not giving it away. He's not going to be my guy here tonight, but in my mind, I was like, I need some guys to do something. Like, you know, at the end of the night, I want to be able to think back and think like Neil Simon. Oh yeah, okay, he did that. And Will Lockwood, okay, I noticed him there. And so, yeah, it just kind of grew from there, and it stuck with me, and now it's become a segment, as you said, a popular segment on the pregame show. I'm going with Linus Karlsson. I like what I've seen from young stars to training camp and through practice. The fact that he's with the big group, I keep thinking that there has to be a reason. There's a method to the madness here that while other guys have sort of been demoted to that second group, and Will Lockwood has been skating with what is essentially the AHL group, although Bruce said, like, look, you know, we're not splitting these into two squads just yet, that there are guys from the other group. So I think, you know, Christian will land and we'll get a look in some game action. He was an extra defenseman out of the morning skate. But back to Do Something for Nils Ahn and Linus Karlsson, these two guys have been with the big group since training camp began. And so that's got to be a boost to their confidence. Again, the organization wants to take a long, hard look, evaluating them. Where are they? Are they NHL ready? Are they going to be ready for a call-up if that's what happens? Or are they best served to spend their first season over here in North America fully in the American Hockey League and just gain confidence and play in all situations? But tonight, Linus Karlsson on a line with Elias Pettersson and Andrei Kuzmenko. That's a line that has to think offense. That's a line that has to generate offense. And so for that reason, I'm looking at Linus Karlsson. I don't know if he's ever felt this kind of pressure before. I don't know what they do back home in Sweden on their pregame shows, but I'm telling you here on Rink Wide, Linus Karlsson, I need you to do something tonight.
Woo! Love it. Absolutely love it. I love the choice as well. You had a few options there.
Yep.
But I think you went with the right guy. Linus Karlsson given a big opportunity, stepping it up on a line with Pettersson and Kuzmenko. Who you got, by the way? Who do you think needs to do something tonight? Let us know. Hit us up in the Great Clips inbox, 778-402-9680. You can always hit us up on our social media platforms at Rinkwide Podcast, whether that's on Instagram, TikTok, or on Twitter. And also a reminder, starting tonight, we're going to be giving away a hat courtesy of our friends at 9 O'Clock Gun. Yeah, they're back, and they're going to be giving away hats throughout the season for J-Pat's Did Something candidate. So here's what you got to do if you're new to the podcast. You listen to the post-game pod. You hear J-Pat's hashtag. Once you hear his hashtag for the candidate that he's got for his Did Something candidate of the game, send it into the Great Clips inbox, 778-402-9680. That's the number. Once again, remember that number. Send in the hashtag, and you'll be entered into a draw to win a hat courtesy of our friends at 9 O'Clock Gun. Now, during the regular season, we're going to be giving away exclusive, brand new rink-wide hats, but that starts in the regular season. So you'll be getting a 9 O'Clock Gun hat from our friends at NOG for the preseason. But those new rink-wide ones, they're coming. All right, J-Pat, that has been the premier edition of the pregame. Looking forward to doing the postgame tonight, but of course, looking forward to doing these throughout the season. Our new motto here at Rink Wide: pregame, postgame, every